He goes, yeah, why? Oh, nothing.
Yeah, you got to hit like
it's Michael Jordan. They know they got you for and with him, it's like, you got 14 minutes. Then you got 13 minutes. And he'll tell you the whole way, you got 6 more minutes. You better get your shot. And they go, just say it, Mike. Just say it in the camera. And he goes, oh boy.
I shaded with a triangle. I think it was I was trying to get a Carmelo Anthony going, but I guess it's.
I'm surprised the Celtic fan wants to look like a Knick.
Oh shit.
So what you said stay grounded, but when I came back east and we started breaking balls at like the Boston Comedy Club, that's when I felt the most grounded. But little did I know, I was taking it up a notch to like the boiling point where people were going.
Well, maybe he was trying to prove that you was still grounded, but it might have came off different.
There's no doubt about it.
It changes, man. You change. You can't not look. My girl told me this. Like I'm way too accommodating to strangers. Like I'll talk to strangers. And
I just
have
started
conversations. And,
you told them that, and I just stopped it, and it's hard to do.
Well, it's hard to
when somebody says, "Hey, Patrice, what's up, man?" And you go through that like. It's 4 seconds in your brain, but as fast as your brain works, it's like a 50,000 person Rolodex and situations and places where I could possibly know this person from. And I'm betting you, Patrice, you don't want to be like, fuck, this person's going to think I'm a dick because I don't remember them from that thing. And then you go, hey, what's up, man? And then you realize halfway through, I have no idea who this person is.
I try to carry myself like a dude that you shouldn't, like if you go, oh, that's you, the dude from, especially if somebody says something. Years ago, I did this show, The Jury, and I saw, the lady from Ghostbusters. That's who she was to me. The old librarian from the Ghostbusters. Evidently, this woman is some kind of, Oscar nominated.
Hey, hon. Who played the librarian in Ghostbusters?
She's an old lady.
She's been on Night Court?
No. She's like...
All right, so I'll look it up. Sigourney Weaver.
No, the old lady from The Librarian.
Well, we'll figure it out.
And then she was in the movie where De Niro was retarded or sick or had a stroke or something.
Oh, Helen Mirren? Helen Mirren?
Yes.
She said that's all of them.
That's it was, was it Helen Mirren? No, Helen Mirren was more famous. Just the old lady that played the librarian, but she got mad.
Oh, you saw her?
I saw her.
All right.
And she got mad because I said, man, I recognize you. What you do? And then she's like,
what you do?
Yeah, right. And she's like, have you seen, you must have seen the movie, Love Is a Tender Moment, like where I won an Oscar. And I'm like, no, ain't it.
Alice Drummond.
Never
heard of her. Alice Drummond.
And so she goes, she was so disappointed.
Good old what's her name?
Yeah. So she was disappointed.
She's an asshole. But this is what
I'm saying. I knew her from what I knew her from.
Right.
So I knew her from Ghostbusters.
Right.
And she said, and she breathed hard. She went, Ghostbusters.
She was on the Cosby Show. Like I'm looking at her IMDb right now. New York News, Tu Wong Fu.
I know her from the Ghostbusters.
I'll tell you right now, lady, you ain't shit.
But she got upset. So sometimes if I see
maybe you didn't see me in Tu Wong Fu.
If somebody see me on the street and say something I don't like, I notice that I get like if somebody's like, like when I was going to Brazil, they call me Patrice. So if somebody's like calling me Patrice in the street.
But that's because they don't speak English.
Nah, Patrice, like, because they know. No. When I went to Brazil, I got this nickname Patrice when I used to go to Brazil all the time. And when I came back and did the radio, I talk about it, but Norton wrote his book. Norton wrote his book and put Patrice in there. And now, some people might go, Patrice, just straight up say Patrice. So it's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I love to, come at you a certain way.
Right.
But they'll just go, Patrice! And you look, and I give them hey, what's up, bro? Like a real nasty kind of.
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
Today.
Or not even that, but like more of a, what's up, man? I'm walking the streets. Hey, how you doing? I acknowledge your existence, but, don't call me that in the street, because you're going to get that. But I could give you a lot more, though. I'm a dude that will talk to you for a good 10 minutes if you...
Like when you know it's an off-duty cop.
If you
like,
know...
Hey, what's up, man? You staying safe?
if you act in a certain way, I'm gonna give you something. I'm really like that dude in the street. And so the thing right now in my career that I'm getting used to, Jay, is this idea of not being able to be in the street or not being able to.
It's nutty, man.
Not be like you can't be around everybody like that.
I was at the pharmacy the other day picking up like sodas. And at Dwayne Reed, and the lady goes, I haven't seen a pharmacist because I've been in New York in like 6 months, and she goes, how are you doing? This Russian lady. I says, good. She goes, you had a baby? Like, so I haven't seen this lady in 6, she knows I had a baby. I haven't seen her. Like from the news.
Right.
The fake, that bullshit news.
Right.
And she goes, oh, that's why you look so tired. But I just slept like 11 hours, and I had a nap. I felt great, and I looked at her, I go, nope, just ugly. And everyone lined and looked at me and looked at her like, this is really uncomfortable. But people say like the stupidest shit, and I think it's because when you're a comedian, they think they know you. Like if you see Jim Carrey walking down the street, or Eddie walking down the street, people aren't going to be able to stay away from them. But if you see Pacino walking down the street, it's like this reverence, this silence, like, holy shit, Michael Corleone.
But that's why they should have more. The documentaries that they have about comedians have never touched on one did that was close maybe, but the complete misery of comedians, man. The miserable people.
Are you miserable?
I'm all the time.
Because my wife says she thinks I'm an actor that acts like a comic because I have none of the miserable. I'm always happy.
Yeah,
I have no damage like thing that happened to me.
I'm miserable just because
you just wake up pissed off.
Yeah,
I wake up let's go kick some ass.
Going.
I wake up, let's do it.
I don't like disappointment. So I'm miserable. Like,
but see, I just file disappointment. Like it's just like when they hit hyperspace on Star Wars,
right?
And all those lights come at you. Like just some of those are disappointment. They just fly past. Like fuck it, keep going.
But I mean disappointment just on a basic day of something spoiling my happiness. This means just if I feel like singing Zippity Doo-Dah.
Having to come here, I'm sure you like. It's a great idea, and then when you actually go from Jersey City into the city, you're like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Well, yeah, you're thinking of ways to.
Yeah.
But I
would have come and got you.
But I actually.
She's coughing like, I don't feel good. JJ, I can't come in. I gotta cough.
I actually am getting a lot better with that because I go, okay, I'm gonna do it because I start running down excuses to not do something.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, he's here and he's asking. I got nothing to do. So I'm trying to get into this thing where I don't have no wait. I'm trying to get into this thing where I don't let laziness stop me. I've done that. I've fortified an excuse that sounds really good, but it's based on really laziness. But I'll have an amazing scenario to make this laziness legitimate. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, we've all done it.
So if
when you get out of like stuff with your family, like, I broke my arm.
Exactly. I just broke my arm, Jay.
And they see you like 2 days later, and you're like, turns out it wasn't broke. And you got this Steve Cato.
I slept on my arm, man.
Patrice, I never said I broke my arm. It's so inside.
So I'm not saying I did this. I'm not saying I did it because I had nothing to do.
I'm saying
that I did it because I didn't have anything to do, but my instinct was to go, I can't do it. That was my instinct. Like when I did Mark Maron's, we did it at the studio when we were both doing O&A at the same day.
Oh yeah.
So I almost couldn't get out of it. So it was like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm doing this as a favor to Jay because I'm not doing nothing. It's more or less, I'm not doing nothing on Monday. So all I would do was it gave me an excuse to get up and actually be in show business. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I would just stay in the bed.
And people will come to your shows because of this too. This will be out like November. If you got a December date, say them here. I'm supposed to say this. More Stories podcast is brought to you by...
Are you getting paid, you son of a bitch?
No. And now I got to do it over because you
I'm going to interrupt if you're getting paid for these podcasts.
No, I don't make a penny.
Really?
Never took a dime.
You never took a dime. It's not never...
I've never gotten paid.
Really?
Never.
Is it a labor of love?
Yeah. It's because people go to your shows when they hear it. I mean, you get paid in the long run when people go, when you're at like the Tempe Improv and you go, this is oddly full on a Thursday. And they're yelling out lines from the podcast from like 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you been doing it?
This will be, what, like 17th? The 17th one or so? 16, 17?
Over the course of what, this year?
Every week. Every Thursday it comes out.
You've only been doing it 6 months maybe? What's that?
That's it. Started in like June with Barry Katz as my guest. I couldn't even get anybody to come to my house.
What was the motivation?
Every opening act on the road was like, you want to do my podcast between shows? Why does everybody that's opening for me have podcasts? And then Tom Segura was in Vegas with me, and Tommy's super funny. And he said to me, I didn't sell dick. And he goes, if you did the podcast when I first talked to you about the podcast, this would have been sold out every show. And I said, really? And he told me how Rogan does, like, he had to move from clubs to theaters. Not because of UFC, because of podcasts. So I did it with the super long-term vision of, I want people to come see my comedy because I like making people laugh. And I want, when you do the radio and you go through all the motions and then you go up there on a Friday and they're like, a little slow. It's game 2 of the fucking Potsdam intramurals. And you're like, I don't give a fuck if it's game 7, Russia versus USA. Like, I'm here. Let's do it.
Right.
So I just wanted to sell more tickets. So it's I saw it already.
But did you think that it would do that right away?
I was told in no uncertain terms by Tom Segura, by Joe Rogan, and then by when I talked to Kevin Smith. It was, you don't understand. This is what's happening. I said, so this is like the future. And they went, no, this is now. Like you're actually on the wave now, on the board, surfing this shit into where it's supposed to be. Like you're not ahead of it. You're not behind it. It's exactly right now. This is what's happening now. Like radio's going away quick and everyone's going to start doing podcasts and you can just drive home. Like today, you and Vaughn could just hit like the Holland Tunnel and go, let's listen to like someone we want to listen to. Like like whether it's, you go Adam Carolla, you can go like Cornel West, you can go Rogan, you can go Marin.
So what are they hearing this on?
They go to iTunes and they download it and it goes into their iPod like if they're going to the gym listening to music. It's ridiculous.
Somebody when I did another podcast.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm saying okay, good. Marin. When I did Marin's.
WTF Mark Maron, the number 1 podcast in the world.
When I did Marin's, and he was doing it, it wasn't, and this wasn't a long time ago. It was basic. It was like when I did it, I was like, this is interesting. I was looking at his setup. And I went out that day and got up the whole setup to do a podcast.
This is going, you stupid.
Like I went out and bought
Radio Shack.
I bought this. I bought this whole thing that I'm looking
Radio
at.
Shack.
I swear to God.
And I'm gonna need a lot of batteries, partner.
I bought the bigger version of this thing. I bought a small this thing.
Yeah. You were the TR-808.
I bought mics,
Be Nice.
Everything.
You needed a backup.
I'm probably gonna buy this.
CDP crew.
This is the whole thing, man. I'm telling you. I was gonna do the podcast, and then I was like, cause
you went through Guru's will. See if Premiere left any equipment behind. Cassette players.
I went through the whole thing. And then
what's it doing now?
I don't even know where I put it. I know it's in my garage. The all equipment somewhere.
You have a garage in Jersey City?
Yeah. I got
Jersey City to me, because when I grew up, Jersey City was just concrete bad news. But now I think the Nets, are they responsible in part for like turning the city around? Oh.
No, not even a second, not even close. It's just they rebuild it because it's
all
a
the radio
university
stations are there.
Saint something University.
Saint something, the patron saint of what?
Saint Patrick.
No, that's him. Good old what's his name?
I think it's St. Patrick's University. They bind up a lot of that crap. Is it St. Patrick's?
No. St. John's?
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's
University. So they
and also
build
all
stuff.
the radio stations moved across the river, like Z100 and all those people.
They're all up there, but they're on the water. I live deep in Promiseville. Like they promised to, when I bought my house, and when I went into the thing to buy it,
14 acres and a dog,
and they showed that they had a painting of what it was going to be.
So then you had the house up, like you could buy.
Oh, this is what it's going to be. The Jetsons. They had everybody had one of your dogs, and everybody
jetpacks.
Everybody had jetpacks. Everybody had this. This is in 3 years.
Pool, and then what do you got? Just like a condo?
It's the first phase. I live in the first phase of a 5-phase construction